The Piano Lesson, based on the play by August Wilson, as Joe pointed out. Now, this is part of Denzel Washington's master plan to do all of the entire Pittsburgh cycle of August Wilson plays, which is 10 plays.
Yeah.
Now, he's already done Fences and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and now his sons, Malcolm Washington, who directed it, and then John David Washington, who's starring in it, are keeping his dream going. So he's got 3 out of 10 done.
Yeah, and he the three good ones.
Start with the 3 good ones.
The 3 famous ones. King Hedley's good.
Famous ones, yes.
But some of Gem of the Ocean, like, they're not going to get around the Gem of the Ocean. We'll see.
We got an August Wilson head in the room.
Yeah.
I love it. I respect it. Yeah. It's good to have someone who knows what they're talking about. Yeah. I had never seen a production of The Piano Lesson before watching this movie. So I was very, very excited to get into it.
What did you think of The Piano Lesson?
So really quickly, it's set in 1936 Pittsburgh during the Great Depression, and it follows the lives of the Charles family around this heirloom, this old piano that's intricately carved with the faces of their family members and ancestors and the stories of their family. And it turns out there's a backstory involving slavery and violence and cruelty, and there's supernatural elements, and it's also sort of a kitchen sink drama for a lot of it. It's got a lot going on. It's a hell of a play, if you needed me to say that. Now the movie adaptation, once again directed by Malcolm Washington. I liked this movie overall. I thought it definitely took a second to kind of find its footing, and part of that was it felt a little clunkily directed in the first 10 minutes or so, as though it really wanted to like make this a movie and not sort of like earn it as a movie before it got into the big play passages. And the opening sequences in particular felt kind of like rushed and overdone and like aspiring for virtuosity, but in practice they look like cut scenes from a History Channel documentary, at the kind of quality. Dang. And so the first 10 minutes, I thought were kind of a waste and probably just could have gone. But as soon as we get into and you feel it, there's a moment where a couple of the main characters, Samuel Jackson, who's great in this, John David Washington, a couple of the main characters are hanging out at night and drinking and reminiscing, and then you suddenly are like, oh, this is probably the first full scene from the play, because now I feel like I'm in the movie, I'm in the world of the movie, the dialogue is fucking popping. I just feel like it sort of kneecaps itself by you're adapting a play. Guess what that means? Your script is going to be fucking amazing, better than anything anyone else in Hollywood could write. You have August Wilson written dialogue. Use it, baby. Use your strengths. But it feels like the kind of insecurities of a first-time director really trying to make it cinematic immediately, and the movie's a little impatient in those first 10 minutes and can't pull off its own sort of aspirations to virtuosity. But once we get into the play, the movie kind of abandons that project and just does the play for most of the movie. So I thought once we got into the play, it really picked up, and just the lines are great, the story's amazing. I thought it was pretty well acted, maybe not sort of expertly acted, but pretty well acted. My only other critique was once we get into the supernatural elements later on, I don't know, you might know more about this, I don't know how those elements are usually presented on stage. I thought for a movie they were presented a little too literally. I think it could have been a little more, I don't know, just, you got light and shadow, and you got things off camera. You got a lot to play with. You got a lot to play with. I thought the supernatural elements were presented a little too poltergeisty for the Piano Lesson. But I did think the performances were really strong, and you just can't beat August Wilson's writing. So a lot of the joys of the movie were just inherited from the play, whereas the attempts to adapt, I think, mostly went awry. But it's still August Wilson's The Piano Lesson done well. And I would recommend seeing it.
I liked The Piano Lesson too. I thought it was a really good adaptation of the play. Brett, you nailed it. One of my least favorite things that movies based on plays do is like, oh, well, it's a movie, so we got to take them outside of the house and show what walking around is like without any line. And the piano lesson does this, where it's like, scene's done, now we're going to go to the next scene. Let's just have like a interstitial with a little music to show a little moving around town. Why? Yeah. Fucking why? It adds nothing. It didn't add.
What's in Hedda Gabler's backyard?
Fucking
question
cares.
I've always wondered.
Then also your point about the horror. It was also sort of like, oh, this movie is now a movie and it's on Netflix and people gotta like it and it's old, so people are gonna think it's boring. So we're gonna increase the spiritual or the what's the word? Fucking supernatural elements. We're gonna horrify them, which was so weird. At the end, it's like you see like the ghosts, and then they like essentially go boo. It's just that's not what the vibe of any production of this play I've ever seen has ever been. It's supposed to be like magic,
right?
Not like horror. I mean, on one hand, there's of course it also lends itself to horror. It's the ghost of their slave owning family from the past, of course it's horrifying, and that's what the whole play's about, is how much the generational trauma is like weighing on this family, and they've put it all in this piano, this gorgeous like symbol, monolithic symbol. But at the end of the piano lesson, the play, how Bernice is like screaming at the piano. That's what happens at the end of the play, and the whole house shakes and everything breaks and it all falls down. And the lights are flashing and there's ghosts. But then it like ends sort of ambiguously. But in the movie, there's like a weird resolution where it all like works out for Boy Willie. It's like, what? John David Washington played Boy Willie in this movie. I just like 2 weeks ago was like, I like John David Washington, but he's always like doing cool guy thing, Tenet, even in Black Klansman. And I love him in Tenet, and I love him in Black Klansman. I think he's a cool freaking guy. I didn't know he could do a Boy Willie. So Boy Willie is like the talkative, energetic member of the family who wants to sell the piano, and he wants to he's like the young whippersnapper that doesn't get it. Right?
We saw extroverted John David Washington for the first time.
Yeah. And Boy Willie is one of the most obnoxious characters in the history of theater, just like going on and on and on and on and on. Like, shut up, Boy Willie. But John David Washington was great. I thought he was really good. Danielle Deadwyler, who we have on our power ranking for Best Supporting Actress, she was excellent.
Just a powerhouse actor.
She was excellent. Who is this? She's fucking great.
Powerhouse.
I loved that. She was great. I liked a lot of the different supporting characters. It was like a real who's who of actors. Like Corey Hawkins, shows up as Avery, which was awesome. Erykah Badu showed up in this film for a second.
That's right.
Like a great cast. Obviously, Samuel L. Jackson was great. I think that I love this project in theory. Like, it's just like kind of an important thing. Sorry, it's not like I'm the world's biggest August Wilson fan. In fact, I find like his plays can be rather sort of droll. Sometimes they're absolutely gorgeous and brilliant.
Is droll not a good thing?
Not droll, boring.
Dry.
Sometimes they can be dry, but also like it just lives and dies on the strength of the performance. I've seen Ma Rainey's Black Bottom be boring. I've seen Ma Rainey's Black Bottom be fucking the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. So of course it depends, but I think this was good. I like the project. They should make all 10 of them. They're important American plays, and it's very cool that Denzel's sort of the champion of them.
Very smart too to outsource it to your kids.
I love that. Get the boys involved.
Knock out Fences yourself.
Yeah, I'll do the good one. I'll do Fences, and then Viola. Okay, fine, you can play Ma Rainey, but then the boys can do they can do all can do radio golf. On fucking
I want to see radio golf. That's one of them.
That's the '90s one.
Okay, that sounds amazing.
Anyway. Yeah, I liked it. Didn't love. It was good.
Yeah, liked, didn't love. I would agree with that.